What's going on, everybody? Good evening. Just want to make another video following up on what I created earlier today. It's about 11:30 Eastern Standard Time at the time of this video, and I just wanted to talk about what's happening right now and what's going to happen within the next 24 hours. As you can see here on the left-hand side of the screen, if you follow my cursor, there is a lot going on across the United States. We've got winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, blizzard warnings. We've got wind advisories out here. We've got a tornado watch extending from southeast Louisiana through parts of the panhandle of Florida here in the yellows. Um, we've even got flood watches up here in the northeast, blizzard warnings out west, winter storm warnings. This is our next system coming through in the coming days right after this one. So the map is just littered right now. It's honestly insane to see it have this many colors on it. But let's go ahead and talk about what's going on right now. On the right hand side of your screen, if you follow me over here, I've got the HRRR model up. Basically, what this is a high resolution model run of what the models anticipate, the overall precipitation to look like. You can see our low pressure system that's causing a lot of this here in the United States. All these watches, warnings, advisories is centered right over Oklahoma City. Right now, it's at 995 millibars. If we put this in motion, you can see it tracks basically through I-44, the Interstate 44 corridor, from Springfield, Missouri, up to St. Louis, and keeps moving off to the north. And as it does, what do you notice? The pressure starts to drop, continues to drop. So that's indication that the low is continuing to strengthen, it's deepening, it's getting stronger. So that's the reason why we've got so many wind advisories out and about right now covering the map. This system, as it moves across the United States, is going to produce a lot of winds. We've got a high pressure centered over here off the coast, and then you've got this approaching low, and basically what's happening is it's causing a squeeze in the atmosphere. So that's what's causing a large portion of the United States to be under these wind advisories. It's supposed to be very windy the next day or so as this low pressure system moves. You can see up here in the north, we've got snow falling in St. Louis. We've got snow falling up in Illinois, Iowa, and in Kansas. We put this into motion. You can see it keeps going off to the north here. It looks like eventually it's going to change over to rain for some of these areas that have been seeing snow briefly, and then as it moves off to the north, and then we get back on that colder side of the system, on the northwest side of the center, that snow will wrap around the backside, and we'll get a little bit more snowfall in this area as it treks off to the north. Backing things up a bit again, what I do want to talk about is the severe weather threat that's currently happening here in the south and ongoing. Basically, we've got all the parameters are in place right now here in southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, and parts of the panhandle of Florida for potential tornadoes. Basically, we've got this line of storms right here that's showing up, that's set up right now, and it's currently working its way east, southeast. And the concern is with the low-level jet, the wind shear, the difference in wind speeds, different heights, and the instability. If any of these storms out in front can really get firing up here, which the HRRR model suggests, then out ahead of this main line initially in this area, there could be some tornadoes, tornado warnings. There's going to be plenty of rotation, and again, the parameters are in place for tornadic activity. If we continue pushing this forward in time and tracking this, you could see, this is, we're January 9th here, Tuesday, 11 Zulu. So this is tomorrow, tomorrow morning, roughly. We keep putting this in motion. You can really see this line setting up. And this could be, it's definitely a squall line, but it could be also a QLCS type event potentially for some of these areas. QLCS meaning quasi-linear convective system. Basically what that is an intense squall line of storms, but due to the other conditions that are in place that we're seeing right now and are forecasted to be in place, we could get some spin-up tornadoes along the leading edge of this system. It's not uncommon with a QLCS setup like this, if this does actually occur. And then also, you know, if you notice out in front of this main line, we've still got a bunch of individual cells firing out in front of this. So some of these could be, you know, like discrete supercells out in front of the main line of storms that form. Any of those in this environment here, the south, would be conducive to producing tornadoes potentially. So definitely something to watch. If I switch over here to the Storm Prediction Center, this will kind of back up what I'm explaining to everybody here. We've got an enhanced risk right now. If we go into that, this is today's outlook. An enhanced risk for that reason. Strong tornadoes are possible in this area. Again, we've got a hatched area further indicating that there is a 10% or greater probability of an EF2 or EF5 tornado within 25 miles of a point. So pretty big deal there. If we go ahead to day 2, we'll see that align with the HRRR model. Basically, the severe weather moves to the east tomorrow. So basically all of these states, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Florida, would be in the danger zone for enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms, to include tornadoes. As you can see here, we isolate the tornado aspect of this map. You can see there's 2 hatched areas, one in the Panhandle in southwest Georgia, southeast Alabama, and then extending up through North Carolina and South Carolina. There is a 10% or greater probability of an EF2 or EF5 tornado within 25 miles of a point. And if we flip back to the HRRR again and we put this in motion, again, you can see this huge line of intense storms set up here. And yeah, again, with these lines, damaging winds are not out of the question. For some of these areas, again, discrete supercells that might form out in front of this could prompt tornado warnings that could then actually lead to tornadoes. We've also got, again, a situation where we could see a QLCS scenario in some of these areas where you might get brief spin-up tornadoes along the leading edge of the squall line, just due to the nature of the atmospheric conditions. So a lot going on, a lot still to come, a lot to watch here in the south and southeast in the next 24 hours, especially with this system. And then, you know, we continue to put this in motion. It starts to move its way offshore, eventually moving completely off the coast, and then, you know, everything will clear. But definitely something to pay attention to. Again, if you look over here to the left, we've got tornado watches that are continued to be posted in the most prone areas for a potential tornado. And again, as this weather moves to the east, so will these tornado watches. Most likely these will be canceled back here, and then they will be prompted here probably pretty soon here in areas like southern Georgia, northwest Florida, and so on and so forth as this line progresses to the east. If I switch over to the 850 millibar height and wind map, this will also show this system and just how intense it is. These pinks, purples, and even some of this lighter, almost white color, these deeper reds just really show you how windy and how gnarly the atmospheric conditions are here in the southeast, up aloft in the atmosphere. Pretty crazy signature to be seeing this, and you can see that works its way off to the east, just like what we've talked about. Pretty intense stuff. It's going to be very, very windy. If I go over to thermodynamics, I'll bring up the mixed layer convective available potential energy map, and basically what this is going to show us is just how intense the instability is in the troposphere. If we scrub along, we start here around present time. And if we go forward into Tuesday, you can see some pretty high Cape values extending from the Gulf over extreme southern portions of the U.S. here in the southeast. We keep going forward. Things really ramp up over Florida here and the southeast. So that just means there's a lot of instability for this system to work with as it moves across the United States into the north. So generally when you see Cape values this high, severe thunderstorms are certainly more likely to occur. So real quick, we're going to switch gears from the severe weather, go back to the central United States, Midwest. We're going to talk about the snow aspect of this system. Right now, the low is over Oklahoma. It's going to work its way up I-44 and eventually work its way northeast into Canada. But as it does, you can see if we put this in motion, as it works its way across the Missouri here and then into Illinois. Some of these areas, like St. Louis, for example, that we're seeing snow earlier, are going to get in that warm sector of the low. We're going to see a lull for a bit, and then as it passes just to the south of St. Louis, almost directly over it, we're still going to be in that warm sector. So warmer air aloft, warmer air at the surface. Definitely going to most likely see mixed precip, maybe even just rain for a bit tomorrow morning. And then as we progress forward in time, this low pressure continues to move off to the north. Now we're starting to get that colder air wrapping around the backside where the snowfall is at and occurring. So eventually we should see a changeover of snow by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, that will clip all the way through Missouri, Iowa, Illinois. Again, anybody to the south, southeast of this center low most likely is going to see mostly rain. And again, those of us that stay to the north and northwest of the center low will see more snowfall. And if I bring up the total snowfall 10-to-1 ratio, that's exactly what we're seeing here on the estimated snowfall total map. So this is early morning Tuesday, and we'll go forward all the way to Tuesday evening. And you can see that we've got pretty much a sweet spot here of possibly 11 to 12 inches, so about a foot right here in northeast Missouri, southeast Iowa, west central Illinois. Looks to be the sweet spot according to the HRRR model. We've got some totals 875 inches extending, from I-70, Columbia, Kansas City, and then south into southwest into Kansas. There's a pretty sharp gradient here. You can see that southeast Missouri doesn't look like they're going to see anything. Southern Illinois, and again, that's just due to the track of the low. Fortunately, if you're a snow lover and you live in these areas, you're just going to be on the warm side of the storm, so not much snowfall to be had for you guys. But yeah, you can see right here, this is the sweet spot with this system. This is where the majority of the snow, the heaviest snow, is going to occur and has been occurring. One thing I did want to talk about real quick was just the pressure again. This low pressure system continues to drop in pressure. At this point, tomorrow afternoon, evening time, it's basically near Chicago, and it's dropped. It's estimated to have dropped another, about 15, 16 millibars, which means that it is still strengthening at this point. So the backside of this system with this snowfall, it's probably going to be pretty windy. So expect blowing snow at this point. Temperature should be cooling off, being a bit colder, so it'll probably be more of a drier snow, and that means it'll probably be whipping around and blowing around more because of that. If we hop over to the northeast United States and check out what's going on with this model, you see all that weather working its way up. What's going to happen here is, for a lot of these areas that just saw a good snowfall, like here in south central, PA, Jersey, well into the northeast here, it looks like we're going to get a lot of snow melt and then a lot of rainfall on top of it. So unfortunately, that's going to lead to flooding in some areas. We're going to kind of get hit twice here with the melting snow and then this heavier precip. Because this system is so far off to the west and to the north, we've just got too much warm air in place for a lot of folks that saw snow in the last storm to see snow this time around. And again, if you look over to the left, that's why we've got these green flood watches posted right now, because of that reason. Eventually, this system will push off to the north. This precipitation will continue to work east, northeast, and things will quiet down for a bit. But unfortunately, yeah, there will be some more snowfall up here to the north, and then some of these areas that did see snow, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New Jersey, parts of Pennsylvania, y'all are going to see rain and then melting snow on top of it. So not ideal. And on top of that, it's going to be very windy. That's why we've got wind advisories posted all along the East Coast. We've got this high pressure center again off to the east over the Atlantic, and then we've got this low pressure over here that's deepening and getting stronger. So we're getting squeezed in this area, which is causing gusty winds to occur. We hop out northwest real quick and take a look at the anticipated radar out there. We've got a low pressure system very far extreme northwest out here over the Pacific that's driving a lot of rain showers along the Washington and Oregon coast here. Again, a lot of the same areas that have been receiving a lot of rain and they've already had flooding issues are going to continue to see more heavy rainfall. As this moisture pushes to the east and we get, over some of these mountain ranges out here, there's going to be some pretty intense snowfall. This is a fairly strong low pressure system as well. So again, if you look to the left here, that's why we've got some of these blizzard warnings for some of these mountain passes, these higher elevations. Going to be seeing some pretty heavy snowfall and high winds. And then we've also got a lot of winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings out and about. So very broad area is expected to see accumulating snowfall from this system as it pushes east, northeast into Canada. But we've got an Arctic air mass spilling in, and so because of that, we've got plenty of cold air in place here in the Northwest, generally speaking, for a lot of this precip to be frozen and to fall as snowfall. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to wrap up tonight's update. Hopefully, I try to cover everything. If you guys got any questions for me, any concerns, constructive criticism, please let me know in the comments below. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys in another video soon. Have a good night.